I've got no idea where to start really, so why don't you tell us how this started and when?
Okay, it started about 4 years ago. I put just a USB charger and a horn on it, and then it kind of took off from there really. I kept adding indicators, more lights, more horns, and it's kind of grown into this. So
yeah, 4 lorry horns, which we're not going to let off until later on in case we draw too much attention from the locals. Let's start at the front end because there's an awful lot going on just here. Oh, and also, yeah, the only bike I've ever seen, we have to turn it on with an ignition.
Yeah, it's got its own ignition switch, so if you take the keys out, nothing on it will work. So if I leave it locked up anywhere, I can take the keys out and nothing will get messed around with, so yeah, it's good for that.
Right, let's take a look at this front end because, as I said, there's a lot going on here at the control centre.
The control centre, so we've got, yeah, that turns everything on, and then we've got main lights, fog lights, spotlights, USB chargers. Find they're really useful these days for charging your phone, Garmin, iPod. And then we've got a rear view camera, so I can see buses, lorries and other cyclists. And then we've got the heated grips, so I had them on not long ago. They're still a little bit warm, but yeah.
Yeah, these are one of the first modifications that you made to this bike.
Yeah, I put these on first, but I found the battery didn't last long enough, so I had to get a bigger battery, and then from there I could kind of keep adding to it. And then we've got normal indicators, front and back, and then if I put them both on together, they're hazard lights, so if I get a puncture or something, I can put them on at the side of the road.
Yeah, and talking of the lights, you've got the indicators that are also hazards, as you said, but I love this front light here. Where did you get that from?
Thank you. I got that on eBay a couple of years ago, and then it was in a real state when I bought it, so I cleaned it all up, put it on the front of my bike. I have no idea what it's off. I think it's about from the 1930s, but I don't know what it's come from.
Amazing looking stuff. I should point out early in this video actually that this is not just a gimmick bike which sits in your shed, is it? You do actually use this genuinely touring around. So you've been to Edinburgh recently and also around Belgium.
Belgium, yeah, I went through France, Belgium, Holland, then yeah, like you said, been up to Edinburgh, through Wales. So, and
it must get a lot of attention through those countries.
It does get quite a lot, yeah, to be fair. A lot of people, they kind of spot the horns and then they kind of do the horn symbol or press it and they love it. Yeah, it gets a lot of attention. Yeah,
let's take a look at the horns because you've got 3 silver ones here and a brass one on this side.
Yeah, so with these switches on the back, what I can do is just let one off at once. So if I'm down a canal or something, I don't really want to press all of them at once. So I can press just one. I'll give a quick demo with that.
Yep.
Yeah,
that works.
One. Yeah, and then if something like a lorry or something overtakes me too close, I can press all of them. And then, do you want a quick demo of those as well?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah.
I've only got one finger to put in here.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No one's coming out the doors just yet. I'm sure there will be some soon. Yeah, amazing stuff. So let's have a look at all the other stuff at the back end because along with the heated grips, you've also got some heated insoles for your shoes. But how on earth do you get them heated?
Basically, so I'll have 2 panels in my shoes, and then the cables go up through my jeans, and they come out through my jersey, and then I plug them in down here, so I can adjust with these 2 temperature knobs, kind of how hot and cold my feet are, depending on if they're very warm or not. So
you're kind of attached to the bike at that point. So also here at the back end, we have got an air compressor somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah, there's an air compressor which is controlled by the ignition switch. So that's that, and so I can plug this hose onto my valve, and then I can pump my tyres up if I get a puncture. As well as that, there's also a tracker on the back, so the bike has got its own phone number, so if you ring the bike, it'll text you back where I am and how quick I'm going and if the bike's switched on or not. So.
Yeah, so presumably if it ever gets stolen by someone that has to be incredibly strong, we'll get onto the weight of this thing shortly, you will know where it is.
Yeah, I'll know exactly where it is. And as well as that, what I can also do, there's a microphone built in, so I can ring the bike and in theory I can listen in to what's happening. So if it's not happened yet, but it's a useful feature. Yeah.
So when we featured this about a year ago on the show, I think the total weight was in the region of 25 or 26 kilograms.
It was.
There's been a few additions since then. What's it up to now?
It's up to just under 40 kilograms now, so it's really heavy. The reason for that is there's quite a lot of brass on it now, which wasn't on before, and as well as that I've also got bigger batteries, so I can go touring for longer and I don't have to charge them up as much.
So how does it ride? That's the big question.
It rides pretty well, to be fair. You'd be surprised. I mean, it takes quite a while to set off from a set of traffic lights. I have to be careful as well if shifting under pressure, because obviously don't want to break the chain. But yeah, it rides pretty well. I've got electric e-bike tyres on at the moment, just for a bit of extra grip as well.
In terms of the riding, I mean, you've only got standard braking on here, so do you have to be relatively careful with your braking distances on this, or is it okay?
Yes, yeah, I do have to be careful, particularly in the wet. I mean, in the dry, they're absolutely fine, but in the wet, I do have to be really careful, because with them being canties, they can be quite interesting in the wet.
I've got to ask you, actually, what was the inspiration 4 years ago when you first started this project?
I find that's a really difficult question, to be fair. I mean, a lot of people refer to the DeLorean from Back to the Future, which I kind of suppose it does look a lot like that, but there's been so many different things that have inspired me to make it the way it has now. I mean, it's quite steampunky, so it's got a good kind of vintage steampunk look about it.
Yeah. So the batteries, Simon, I understand, are located in this bag at the back.
There in the back. So there's 4 batteries. You can't see 2 of them, but 2 of them are on display here, and these power, like I say, each of the horns, and then the bike itself.
How much do they weigh?
They weigh about between 2 and 3 kilos. So yeah, they're not too heavy, but I get a good week out of each battery, so yeah, it's worth it for the.
I can't help but notice also, whilst we're in the bag, you've got an old tin in here. What's that?
Yeah, that's basically my toolkit. So in here I've got things like my soldering iron.
A soldering iron?
Yeah, spare solder as well. I find that that's the tool I have to use the most, because when I'm out touring, sometimes I'll snag a wire, or I may have to do some repair works, like one of the switches or something. So, and then in here I've got all spanners, super glue, chain splitter, all tools I've had to use at some point. So
yeah.
I
think you'd probably be the only cyclist I've ever met that takes a soldering iron out with them.
I think so, yeah. I mean, like I say, I use it the most. It's the most used tool I've got, so it's pretty small and portable as well. Yeah, so it's just like a small pen. So
that is very cool. Now, with so many gadgets and gizmos on the bike, it's quite easy to ignore the heart of it, which is of course the frame and the forks. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so the frame, I originally got the frame off a chap on retro bike a couple of years ago. Had it completely stripped down, resprayed. I had extra mounts fitted to the front for the front rack, as well as for the mud guards on the back. Yeah, I find it's a really strong, durable frame, Reynolds 531 tubing, so had no issues with it at all yet. So it's really durable. And
local as well, just down the road from us in Bath in Bristol.
Yeah, only literally 12 miles or so down the road, so it's come back to its home.
Now, I guess another question that we should ask you, Simon, is what's next? I mean, have you even got any room to put anything more on this?
A friend at work suggested to put a radio on it, which I think could be a really nice feature. It's just where I put it. I mean, I might have to fit it on the back somewhere, because I've kind of run out of space at the front. So that's in the mix.
And would you go analog or digital?
Analog, definitely. Yeah, analog. It's got to be analog.
Next up, then, under the saddle here, you will notice there is a small cylinder. Simon has just admitted to me that this is his very own bodge, but tell us what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So the Profile basically keeps the saddle nice and supple. So I could basically use 2 cable ties. Profile sits in there nicely, can't fall out unless I really pull at it. It's just a handy place to keep it.
Space is kind of at a premium on this bike, so he didn't have room for his spoke key or that inside of the bag, so had to find other spaces for them. What I love about this bike is the fact it's a combination of new and old, so there's a few digital components to it, but there's also a whole load of analog things in terms of the battery power, etc., the clock you've got here at the front. We've already talked about the rear view camera, so there's a lot of inspiration from motor vehicles, motorbikes and cars on this bike as well. And if we come to the front here, these lights are light sensitive, aren't they?
Yeah, so if I'm cycling through a tunnel or something and I want the lights to come on quickly, give a quick demo there, lights come on and off, so it's handy. It's only those 2 at the moment, but...
Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's a stunning bike. One of the most interesting things, if this didn't have everything else on it, would be the vintage Shimano Dior group set and these Avid brake levers, which I always wanted in my mountain bike in the late 90s. Why did you choose those brakes and that particular group set?
Well, I find that these brakes stop me absolutely fine. I've had no issues with them really. Like I said, in the wet, they're a little bit sketchy, but I find so long as I put my brakes on soon enough, they stop me fine. Same with the group set really. I mean, I've had no issues in terms of it breaking out or breaking down, wearing out quickly. 7-speed on the back, so I've got a 32 sprocket on the back and then a 20 on the front, so I can get up quite steep hills. I can get like 25% hills on it quite easily. I've been up Winnett's Pass on it, which was interesting.
Okay, so I think one of the main things we probably missed out before we finish this, you have taken apart and used it on this bike from a Lancaster Bomber.
Yes, this is the Lancaster Bomber map light, which does actually work. I tend to put maps and directions for campsites and things underneath on top of the screen here.
Well, as I said, thank you ever so much for coming down and showing us this bike. It is absolutely incredible. If you would like to see the entire story from the very start, you can see the website there on the top tube, so just head over to that. If you've enjoyed this video, and I very much hope you have, please give it a thumbs up just down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can do so now by clicking on the globe. And there's a couple more videos coming up for you right now. First of all, if you haven't watched the latest GCN show, where we've got loads of hacks and bodges, not quite up to the standard perhaps, but still a few there for you to look at, you can click in the bottom left-hand corner down there. Or if you'd like to see a very different bike, a Buffalo bike from World Bicycle Relief, you can click just down here.